PWA is here for you. This is my reminder to our members, to our partners, and to our supporters. Tonight, we also have ex-members, and I welcome each one of them. We will here to continue focusing on our mission on providing unparalleled support to all of you, and obviously to strengthen our virtual business networking until we could, and e-conferences and special projects. Next week, we are hosting a special event together with the United Nations World Food Programme and celebrate and understand better what it means to earn that Nobel Peace Prize. And thanks to our outstanding member, Gabriel Klug, in advance for that. So don't miss it. Your invitation is already in your inbox. It's going to be next Wednesday, 10th of February at 18:30 CET. As you know, we are here to grow our professional network wherever we are, whether we are in Rome, whether we are in Dubai, wherever. And thanks to this book that we are going to learn more tonight, we need the power of our community. And we believe so much on this, and to know that we are not alone in our experiences, that we could always learn from shared wisdom and find a renewed sense of purpose and commitment to our profession and to whatever we love to do. So you don't have a powerful professional network, here we are. You could join us. We have more than a 25-year of track record of making a difference, and we want people, women who would like to make a difference. PWA is created as a space for empowering women, networking, inspiring leaders to think innovatively, do business, and encourage lifelong learning. So again, thank you, and I hope you will enjoy this evening.
Thank you very much, Gerli. And now let me give the floor to Jannie Skov-Hansen, who is the founder of Here We Are Global.
Thank you, Milena, and thank you, Gerli, for this introduction. Thank you for having us here today. So I am here as a founder of Here We Are Global, and to me, Rome has a special place in my heart. This is where I also met Paul in real life 2 years ago. For a networking conference, Women's International Networking. I am a true believer in support networks, so I also compliment PWA for what you are creating every month for your members. Here We Are Global was created in Central Asia when I was posted there following my husband, leaving my corporate job behind. And as anyone else, I needed to find my support network and continue my work life. So Here We Are Global is one way of addressing this dual career issue, that you would like to also have a fulfilling, enriching professional life if you move with your partner to a new country. So everyone can empathize with that situation. Now I'm not an accompanying partner or expat. I am living in Denmark, but I consider myself a global professional. And I believe that we unleash energy by creating the framework for people to create what's meaningful for them in their local setting. So Here We Are Global is a local and global movement where we create this opportunity for people to meet around personal and professional development. So Here We Are Italy is one brilliant example of global professionals coming together to create meaningful activities online or in real life. And by that also creating the space to continue a global work life. So Here We Are Global has three meanings to it. Here we are in this location, in this country. Here we are Switzerland, here we are Poland, here we are Ethiopia, here we are Jamaica. Here we are with our lives, so the existential part, what to do with it. Asking ourselves, what are we here for? And then here we are as a window of exposure to launch our businesses, to show our talents and build our competencies together. So I am thrilled to be here and of course share this event with all of you and to also of course launch the book together with Paul.
Thank you very much, Jannie. Let me now introduce the ladies from Here We Are Italy, as I'm also part of this community. And I'll give the floor to Isabel Guidastri and Magda Basso, co-founders of Here We Are Italy.
Thank you, Milena. Thank you very much. My name is Magda Basso, and as Milena just said, I am one of the co-founders of Here We Are Italy together with Isabel Guidastri, but our team is made from 5 people. We are all here tonight. It's the 2 of us, then Milena, of course, then Sofia, and then from Arezzo, and Evelyn from Milan. Firstly, we would like to thank the Professional Women's Association of Rome for hosting us tonight. Here We Are Italy, as we said, is the Italian chapter of the Here We Are global community, with currently 3 focal points in Modena, in Rome, and in Milan. We are a network of global professionals on the move, and we aim to provide opportunities for international expat partners and for internationally minded locals. Our community intends to bring together these 2 realities that often long for each other but can find difficult to connect. In fact, we are convinced that the link between the local and the international can make the difference and create incredible opportunities for both communities. Our motto is here to work, here to learn, and here to volunteer. And it gives international career partners, the right platform to make the most out of their time in Italy, but by partaking in opportunities to grow competencies in an inspiring environment. I now leave the floor to Isabel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Magda. Good evening, everybody. As Magda said, I'm the other co-founder of Here We Are Italy, and it was more or less 1 year ago that we kicked off the Italian chapter. So soon we're going to celebrate our first birthday, and we are very, very proud of it. So that was the first and also, unfortunately, the last meeting we had in person. And since the outbreak of the pandemic, we had, of course, to adapt and to start to do monthly online events with a growing community. So far, we have organized workshops on various topics, always with the intention to provide ideas to grow as a professional or to get inspired to create something new. So we had workshops on different topics such as mediation and conflict management, how to find the right business ideas, also how Ayurveda can maintain your mental well-being in these tough times. We learned how to master our LinkedIn profile to catch the attention for companies or clients. We learned how to speak in public and get less stressed. And we ended last year with a Christmas event in Rome, virtually, of course, in one of the most beautiful terraces on the rooftop of this beautiful city. Our keynote speakers, they are often part of international career couples who took their period abroad as a chance to build their own business, associations, initiatives. So as a kind of role model. And we are very happy and proud that in only 1 year, many participants of our former events, they are already connected with each other and created new opportunities and networks for themselves. So thanks again for tonight, for having this beautiful opportunity. And without going further ado, I will leave the floor now to Milena. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Magda and Isabel. And I'm here also to represent Gruppo Formazione e Lavoro, Education and Career Group of ACDMAE, Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs Spouses Association. And actually, I founded this group 3 years ago when I came back from Montreal. I came back to Rome, and I realized how important is the career for a spouse of a diplomat. Our group members find themselves to move frequently while attempting to build up a professional life. Usually we change countries every 4 years, and often we leave our career behind when we follow our partners abroad. In many cases, we also struggle to find a new job in the new countries. One of our goals is actually to help our members to transform their professional path in a portable career. Therefore, as Gruppo Formazione e Lavoro, we have hosted in the last 3 years seminars and networking events to provide members with training opportunities and connecting chances. For example, we had workshops on business and social media, e-commerce, coaching, home relocation, creative writing, workshop on design thinking, and international business management. As a group, we are trying to be very active also in connecting with other associations, as you can see tonight. And before giving the floor to the book co-authors, let me just leave you with a phrase. Networking is not about just connecting people. It's about connecting people with people, people with ideas, and people with opportunity. So it's what we are trying to do tonight. Now it's with great pleasure that I will leave the floor to our book authors, Jannie Skov-Hansen, who is Danish. She's a human resources professional, specialized in global people mobility and leadership development. She's also, of course, the founder of We Are Global Community and a startup consultancy to support international career couples in their global career. And then Dr. Paul Vanderbroek, who is Dutch-Swiss. He has a background of managing talent in a multinational organization. He's an executive coach, a researcher, and a speaker on gender balance and leadership development. So let's leave the floor to their presentation. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Marina. Yes, Paul?
You want to add a few things about why we wrote the book, perhaps, as a start? That's our motivation for doing this.
Yeah, I can start by that, Paul, while you find the slides, right?
Yeah.
So since we both have a background in international HR, we have seen that this group of international career couples is somehow a group that has not been given so much attention. We have also seen that because we have been part or are part of international career couples ourselves, we have on our own body experienced that this is such a powerful gift to a relationship, that you move to new countries, that you explore new professional opportunities. And what we have seen is that most organizations do not realize that we need a holistic approach to international career couples. We need a holistic approach to thinking more long-term to what it entails living a global work life. So from my point of view as a mobility professional, we can talk about the dual career issue, that it's difficult for organizations to deploy employees because the partner has a professional work life or career. And then I think some of the solutions are what I call a band-aid solution, that the company can just check that they are giving some outplacement or some coaching, which is by all means nice. But we have also seen that maybe this opportunity to actually broaden your competencies and actually also earn a way of living has maybe not been there. So when Paul and I met, we immediately saw this idea of exploring, like, successful international career couples. What do they do? And with successful, we don't mean that they both reach the C level, that they become top expats, both of them. It's more like, how do you live enriching, meaningful lives where both parties in a couple are satisfied and where you mutually support each other? So Paul will take us through who we have interviewed for the book as well. So what we have come up with is a new way of looking at this pool of global talent that we also really see needs to be unleashed, right? So yeah, so personal motivation, but also a professional objective to shake the industry a bit, talking about HR and mobility. Right, Paul?
Absolutely, Jannie. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do is show you and tell you a little bit about our research and what we found, and give you also insight in some of the solutions, the tools we have developed to do that. And Jannie will participate in the presentation. And we hope that will engender some questions from you to us, which we're happy to answer. So throughout the presentation, already write your questions in the chat if you had them, and we'll come back to them afterwards. But before your questions to us, we have some questions for you. We'd like to have a feel about this group here tonight, and we want to ask you some questions, which we also have asked to the people we have researched, we've surveyed for this book. So this poll is starting, and let's see what answers. So there will be 5 questions for you to answer.
Ciao.
So by now, everybody is a couple. We have some more to vote. And soon you can see also the results then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay, I'm gonna share. Can you see the results? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% yes.
100% of those who voted yes.
Yeah. So that's also, of course, the ones who participated in our research, because we wanted to do research.
Okay.
So let's look at the next question.
So that was the warming up question. And next question is this one. How many years have you been together? Is it a short time or a long term?
Io metto oltre i 15, eh? Sono nella media alta, eh?
So still voting, and
Mi avete sentito per...
Oh, nice. With a Spanish flavor.
Yeah.
so okay.
So half of you are in a couple more than 15 years, and the others in different configurations.
Okay.
Bear this in mind. We'll come back to that later. Yeah. Thank you. Let's have a look at the next question.
Next question is one or both of you living outside their home country? Yes or no? That's interesting. Okay. And stop and sharing. So 88% yes.
Yeah, so we have an international group here. That's
which is great.
At this moment, living outside the company doesn't mean that you haven't done that before. So, but international. Yeah.
And question number 4: to what extent do you have a shared vision of the future as a dual career couple? That's a tricky one. Okay.
So maybe we have research persons for our next book, Paul.
Absolutely.
People with a completely clear vision. That's nice.
Yes, exactly. So closing now the poll and showing you the results.
So you see that many have some kind of a vision, or at least slightly. and that's which we'll see later. That's good news because that means that most of you already have some of what we have discovered as being one of the critical success factors in your couple. So bravo for that.
Yeah, and the third answered completely.
Yeah.
So, and last question. In my job and career, my partner supports me. Not at all, slightly, equally, very much, completely. Okay, still voting. And I'm gonna share.
Very good. This is also good news because
Yes.
that's another critical success factor is mutual support. As long as it's both ways, so that you support your partner as well. We've only asked you your view on your partner, but we should ask your partner as well how they see it. But already this is a good result. For bravo for that as well.
So great.
Okay, thank you very much. So bear in mind, because we'll come back to that. You see some of that coming back in the presentation. Let me now share my screen. Here we go. So our book, as that's our main topic of today, and I'm going to talk to you a bit about the content of what's in there. So first of all, it's important to talk about to get a feeling of what we're talking about. There are the different types of working couples. There are the couples where there's only one person working, and they may be they may be in a different country or not. Then you have couples where there are two people working in a different country or not, but in that case, all those couples, whether it's one person or two person, what is important to see, are they committed to one career? Is that the career of the one person always the most important, where everybody focuses on and the decisions are based on? Or are they committed to two careers? And if the latter is the case, then they enter into dual career couples. And if the dual career couples move to another country or is mobile, then we're talking about an international career couple. And the focus on our book is particularly on those dual career couples with a particular special attention for these internationally mobile dual career couples, which we have called international career couples in our book. And it's important to differentiate those types of couples because on the one hand, there is a different need for mobility, international or not, and there is a different need for career management. And the more the case that two partners are working, and the more those two partners have equal careers to which the couple is committed to, the more complex things become, because it is a challenge to keep two careers going. And if then also you move around to different countries, it's even more complex. And therefore, you have to look at that type of complexity to find the solutions that work. As Jannie said earlier, often organizations are unaware of that. They find short-term band-aid solutions and underestimating the complexity that people are facing, and through that find it difficult to retain talent. And for the couples themselves, it's not easy to find those solutions to deal with that complexity.
If I can add, Paul, also what we see when we talk about short-term objective is that a lot of companies focus on the next assignment not failing, and that the expatriation costs are very high. We know this, so they're looking at the return on investment, making sure that the couples stay in the location and do not return early, because that's costly to an organization. What we advocate for is a longer-term perspective, caring for a global workforce instead.
Absolutely, thank you. So, and these international career couples are growing. We have more and more of them. And why is that? Well, that's a result of three trends which actually mutually reinforce each other. So on the one hand, we have globalization, which we all know has been going on. Clearly, now in COVID times, that has gone down a bit, or certain international mobility has been reduced. People have been staying or have been returning. But although we believe that things will change because of COVID, mobility will definitely come back. Organizations, whether it's for humanitarian help or whether it's for business, or as we see nowadays, interference to collaborate internationally when it comes to healthcare or research, they will be sending people around. And then there are also those of you here tonight who, like myself, have children in university or just leaving university. I'm thinking of Milena and Valeria and Lisa, who are see here on this in this meeting. Yeah, if they haven't studied abroad, then often when they look for a career, they want to do it in another country, and we are pretty convinced that that's not going to stop, but actually going to continue. So this international mobility will continue to go on. Then the other thing is, as a societal development, more and more people are in dual careers. So that's another trend. And the third trend, gender balance. The reality is that women who have a career, if they're in a partnership, then their partner generally has a career too. So the more women have careers, and that includes also international careers, the more you will be having dual careers moving abroad. And in our research, we've noticed that as well. For example, when we did a call to find international career couples who are willing to participate in our research, in 9 out of 10 of the cases, it was the woman in the couple who contacted us. So there's a clear link there as well. Now, here's some of our research, the same question we asked just now, and it's interesting, we see a similar result. It's about 50%, half of the people here tonight, but also in our research are more than 50 years together, and then the rest is spread out over a short term together or in between. And for us, that was important also to have this spread on the one hand, but also to have a substantial number of couples who are together for a longer time, in order to find out what works in the long term. How can you make a dual career couple sustainable and successful over a longer period of time? And as Jannie said earlier, we've been particularly looking for success stories to see what works. There's little research that has been done, and the research what has been done, particularly around dual career couples, has been looking at what's difficult, what goes wrong, whereas we particularly wanted to find out what works. How do you do it right? And you see that here, we asked the people in our surveys, if you look at everything together, professional things and personal things, and you look at your progress as a couple together, what do you think? And how has your progress been over the years that you've been together? And we see that all of them are at least satisfactory, and some of them are really very, very happy about their progress. So in other words, success stories, both on the personal and the professional side. Now, what came out of our research? What were our key findings? Here are some of them. So one of the things we found is that having children does not influence the career success of international career couples.
Good news, right?
Yeah, it is good news indeed, because often people think, well, should I get children or not, or should I postpone it? What impact has it on a career? And in this case, there is no relationship. And the reason for that is that, you know, with these dual career couples, and those of you who are in that yourself probably note to self, what does that mean? You have two smart people, you generally have resources, there's generally some money around. So this whole management of the couple, including the children, schooling, housing, logistics, yeah, you can manage that probably better than others, simply because of the resources you have and the capabilities. But it's its other aspect, this long-term perspective, this leadership of the couple, which makes a difference. The other thing which was covered is seeing your ICC as a team is vital to sustain the couple over time. What you often see with dual career couples, that's a sort of a peaceful coexistence. You have your career and I have mine, and just we do things separately, but we're together some way or another. But that's very difficult to sustain over time. You really have to approach what you do as a couple, including the two careers, as a team and not individually. It's really a couple, and particularly dual career couple, or internationally mobile dual career couple, is an organization. And therefore, and that's also part of our solutions, we believe that if you use methods and tools which work well to lead organizations at work, you can apply those as well if you translate them in the right way to the couple to lead it as an organization. Then, not such surprise, but it's good to have the confirmation. International mobility is the most significant potential risk factor for career satisfaction of the following partner. So when moving abroad, if you are a dual career partner, if the following partner is not happy with a career after the move, then it's a risk for the couple to be successful.
Well, there's a question here from Gabrielle. What does that mean concretely, being ICC as a team instead of two individuals? Can we elaborate on this one?
Yeah, sure. So it means that you need to approach what happens as a team. That means that it's not my career and your career, but it's your career and I have a stake in that, and you have a stake in my career. And that's why one of the, just to go ahead of what we're going to show you later, one of the critical success factors is this mutual career support. Sustainable, successful dual career couples help each other, not only when it comes to finding a new job or promotion, but also while you are doing the job. That mutual career support. So to have a stake in each other's career is first important, not to mention the other things you do together as a couple about deciding where you want to live, running your family, and so forth.
And the reason why all these things are important is because when you take this seriously, when you work with your relationship as a team, you are much better prepared for whatever choices will come to you. Okay, so by doing the inner work as a couple, you can easier say yes and no when the opportunity comes, and you have 5 days to decide whether you're moving to Madagascar, anywhere else, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we also see is we looked at a bit at risk factors, and then we discovered that the most significant challenges are two moments. One is at the beginning of the relationship, so it's really important, therefore, to as the couple starts, is to set you up on a good footing with a strategy for the future. And also an important moment, of course, is when it's the decision needs to be made, like Jannie just mentioned, do we go to Madagascar or not? And for what reasons do we say yes? And for what reasons do we say no? In other words, how does that relocation fit in our long-term strategy? Yeah, and as we just mentioned, this cooperation and mutual support of the two partners' careers sustain an ICC in the long term. That's really important. So this mutual support is important, and also having a direction where you want to go. But we found out that in itself is not enough. You also need to know how to get there. So to have a methodology which allows you to get to implement the strategy that you have decided on together. Okay, so let me stop here. These were some of our key findings. There are more in the books, but we just showed you some of the more relevant ones. And yeah, Jannie will take the rest of the presentation, and we'll start with, as I mentioned earlier, we've surveyed a number of couples, but with four of them, we did in-depth interviews together, as not individually the partners, but together as a couple. And that also has helped us a lot to construct this handbook. Jannie.
Yes, indeed. And I think it was very powerful also when we, of course, shared the book with our research persons, and they all came back to us with thanks for having this opportunity to speak with us about their global path, about their decisions, about what really glues them together. So it was even very soothing for them to have the conversation with us. Obviously, we got some research, some content, and that was for our book. But for our research persons, it was also a very good experience to map their own path and kind of make sense of their choices so far. So when we selected our research persons, we were very aware of having diversity in the sense of professional backgrounds. So we have finance, HR, life science. Please back me up, Paul.
Yeah,
logistics,
humanitarian and NGO. Yeah.
Startups. We also have a different segmentation in terms of age. So Antonella and Sergio, based in Europe, are below 30. So there's a span there. We also see John and Martin as a gay couple. So we also thought that was part of us having a very broad perspective on what is a dual career couple in an international setting. Kashaf and Sarun are from South Asia, and even for the locations, it also spans across Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
one more thing, if I may add, I think it's also one more spread is that you have two types of internationally mobile people, which are also represented here in these four couples. So two of the couples are the traditional expatriate. My company sends me to wherever, and with all the package that's part of that. And the other two couples are what we call self-movers. So who out of their own initiative have sought to develop their career internationally and go to another country.
Indeed, yeah. And our creative director from Here We Are Global, Anne Bundgaard, has created these very nice avatars, and we think that makes the book very lively as well. So we hope you appreciate this. And I also saw that G is on the call. Is that correct? G, you're with us from the US?
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
Good to have you with us, G. So you've also been working with us on creating some supplementary material from the workbook. So I'm happy to have you with us here today. Yeah, Paul, let's move on a bit. So again, looking at we are curious to know, so what makes ICC successful, right? And basically there are three core things that really were crucial to our four couples. The shared vision, do we know where we are going together, and the different elements of that, and we will show you the components in what makes a shared vision. Having a secure space, meaning having a dedicated space, and that can be physical or symbolic or an activity where you dedicate time to have these conversations that matter. So that could be on the balcony, it could be during an evening walk, it could be in the couch after the children have been put to bed with a coffee or tea. So this thing about having this space that's for you and me only, and these important conversations. And then, of course, it's mutual career development, that both parties in a couple feel that they are supporting each other in advancing somehow. And here, I think it's important, and this is also a core belief in Here We Are Global in our community, that this does not always entail advancing or having the next job. It can also be expanding your opportunities, your competencies in other ways. And this is very important because some of our couples also have had, let's call it, times where they were not professionally engaged, where they had to reinvent themselves, right? So there are some nice examples, and we have, of course, quotes in the book on some of these stories. Yeah. Any questions? I see there are questions in the chat. I'm not sure if that's otherwise.
No, I checked them. No, there's no question at the moment.
Yeah. So one of our key tools in the book is this future, mapping your future as an ICC. And I'd like to invite you, Paul, to also just take us through the key components here and how we have chosen to use it in the book.
Yeah, so it's as I said, a roadmap, and the way our book has been set up, behind all of these elements, there is a tool, an instrument, an activity to come up with the answers. So that means that some of couples who used it may already have half of the answers and they just want to fill the gaps, and that's fine. There may be others who start from scratch. But what we present here, so we see is that there are some critical elements, like as we discussed, Jannie just presented, the secure space, the secure base, that's also another word for mutual career development, and on the right hand side this vision, but there's also element needed, as I said, the how to get there are important, and those are the other elements, sort of who are your stakeholders, who is in your support network, what's your identity, and yeah, it's the idea is to follow that and to use it as a map to guide you over the long term. And it's something also you need to come back to every once in a while because things change, and you need to update that map. So it's something which as an organization, as I said earlier, helps you to map out your future and bring it to success.
This is a very, yeah, please.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, so if you go through this with the instrument, all of it, then it will take you more than a day, about 10 hours or so. So we suggest to take a weekend away to go through it if you want to go in one way. But you know, as I said earlier, an ICC or dual career couple is a complex organization, so it takes time and effort to lead it well. And so you have to ask yourself if investing 1 or 2 days intensive discussion helps us to stay together successfully for longer, or to ensure that success, that may be a good investment. And
there is never a right or wrong time to do this. So what we see is that this is a tool for you to make sense of how you have made choices so far. Maybe also validate between each other, like what have been the barriers or the enablers for where we are today. And I think it's always nice to talk about personal examples, Paul, so we can also share some examples from our own lives. So for example, when doing this exercise with Thomas, my husband, it became clear to us that our vision is really to create impact in whatever job we hold. And that can take many forms. For me, I have been working in emerging markets, developing countries with HR and capacity building. At the moment, I took the decision to say yes to a project leadership role, building the first international public school in Denmark. So if I hadn't done my inner work and validated this with my husband, I would maybe be a little insecure whether or not to say yes to this. But because we are very clear on how we support each other, I was able to say, yes, this is part of my goal of always creating impact. So this means my husband support me, and also a 1.5 hour commute once I go to my new workplace. I know that you also have this example, Paul, about an environment that meets your needs. You and Joel, you also have some things here that are important to you.
Well, one thing that's important for us, is to have an urban environment where there is an offering of cultural and restaurants and at the same time. So it's you have great places in let's say in the countryside or the middle of nowhere where you can live, but it would not be for us. So if we got an offer to go there, we would have reason to say no. But now in Rome, that ticked all the boxes with regard to the environment that works for us. So we didn't need to think long about taking that opportunity when it came along a few years ago.
And can I add international schooling for your son?
Yeah,
French
absolutely.
language.
Yeah,
So
good quality education. Yeah.
Examples of building blocks in this future map. For one of our couples, their faith is also very important. So their common value and non-negotiables, they need to have a place for worship. That could also be one example of what guides a couple successfully through the choices that may come.
Yeah, and with regard to vision, so it can be something, okay, here is where we want to end up. So for example, one of the couple said, okay, we want to be in a situation where our children do not need to take care of us. We want to make sure that there is sufficient funding that we can retire on our own without needing the support of our children. Yeah, Jannie mentioned her own example of creating impact. And then another of the 4 couples we interviewed, it was about the type of life they want to lead. They want to make sure that they have 2 careers. They want to have time for their 2 children and have a meaningful life. So it's also that type of thing which they want to do. Plus, and also where the international component comes in, as they are from 2 different countries, an European country and Australia. During their career, they also want to make sure that their children have spent time in both countries and spend time with both families. So that has also led to their career going back and forth between Australia and Europe.
Exactly. So there are quite many examples in our book, and throughout the book we are following one of the couples and gently adding in content in their strategy map. So this is one feature of the book. Yeah.
And if you look at the top left side, key competencies, we'll zoom in that as an example of one of the tools which behind there.
Yeah. So here we are competency matrix. Here we are Italy members, and you will have seen this many times. This is a thoughtful way to approach competency development. So in HR, a competency matrix is usually used by a manager to map and assess what are the competencies in, say, one department. We turn this around and invite you as an individual and as a couple to reflect upon how do you want to spend your time and energy? Where do you want to grow your skills and competencies? Because we cannot always spend our time and energy in every way we want, but by being thoughtful on how we want to grow as human beings, this can be a tool to validate the choices we take. So this competency matrix is an invitation to have a conversation around what's important for me over the next 6 months. Where do I want to see myself in 3 years? So we have a workbook also called See Life in Brighter Colors, meaning that let's not just get stuck on hard skills, finding the next job. Maybe look into how we can look at in a more broad sense about personal and professional development. So an example of that could be moving to Australia without having a fixed job contract. What could be in it for me? Maybe this is the time for me to support my partner in building up his business. Maybe it's the time for me to build my, let's say, Mandarin skills, whatever. But this is one way of approaching competency development in a more holistic way, and in a way that invites for exploring new opportunities. And from our global lives, we all know that magnificent things can happen. You cannot plan a global development path. It takes beautiful shortcuts and crazy directions sometimes. So this is based on existential psychology, and also daring to take some leaps and take choices that will eventually enable you to tell your story in a more meaningful way. So when you look back on your global development path, you're able to say, I supported the establishment of an international school. I created a network for mutual benefit in Rome and beyond. You see, it's about also using this recruitment experience to reflect upon what are the achievements, the results I'd like to say I have achieved. Actually, when I end my assignment in a country, but even also in a whole life perspective. So how do I want to shape my life? There's so many words put into this. What we're doing in Here We Are Global is that we are creating content. We are unfolding all of these dimensions in our events and in our workshops, etc. Yeah, so this is just a teaser, and it's part of the book as well. Did I miss anything, Paul?
No, I think just the last slide.
Yeah. Good. So this is where G comes in. So G has kindly helped us really make the content of the book very tangible. So what we have created to support the book is worksheets that's available on our website now. So I believe, how many pages? I forgot.
About 30 or so, I think. Yeah.
About a 30-page set of worksheets that unfolds all of the exercises that we share in the book. So it's a PDF format where you can type in, but you can also choose to print it and then go on a weekend together, getaway, or 2 nights on the sofa, whatever is your secure space, and work with these very thoughtful questions to you. I think when you did the poll in the beginning, you also sensed that the the level of difficulty maybe rose a bit in terms of when we talk about these more subtle things about supporting each other. It can be delicate, but it's all worth it. Take it from us.
All right, we give you an opportunity in a little moment to also network a bit and have some discussion, smaller groups. But there may be questions or comments or things, examples you want to share from your own experience.
Yes, you can actually write them in the chat, or you can speak out and say what you think about, or tell us something about your personal experience, or just a question. In the meantime, just something came to my mind, because sometimes there is a motto saying happy spouse, happy house. That I think
happy wife, happy life. My husband says that every day.
This is, I think, something very important. I don't know if the companies, the international organizations, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in general, it's something they are thinking about when they hire a diplomat, a manager, a person an expat in general. How do you find the approach of the companies with dual career couples? Do they take into account as well when they send someone to Madagascar, for instance?
Where to start, Paul? Because obviously we have personal experience ourselves. We have been in in-house mobility or HR departments. Paul has been head of mobility in a corporate organization. What I see at the moment is there is a transition towards looking more into the human beings behind the the assignments and the numbers. But if you look at big corporations, global mobility or people mobility, whatever, this department is sometimes the executing part, meaning that they don't necessarily link to the talent development or the talent pipeline of the organization. And this is what we are advocating for, like strategic global mobility. If you want more female leaders, you have to look into also creating an environment where both parties of a couple can lead meaningful lives. One of our research couples actually was advocating a bit that she was hardly asked if she wanted to move to Asia for this position. Okay, so there's some bias there also around female leaders. to me, of course, that's very important. It's also a subject dear to Paul's heart, right?
I think it's very relevant you said about the pipeline, because what happens indeed is that there is a conversation with somebody, with the boss or with the talent person. So what about, so we had this great opportunity for you to Madagascar, it's a promotion and your career will benefit and so on, da, da, da. And then the person, yeah, but what about my husband and his career? Yeah, well, we don't know that, but talk to mobility, they will tell you about that. And then you get indeed into mobility, as Jannie said, with the executions and have package they can choose from about housing and schools and whatever, and perhaps a network or language course, but not really something which addresses the couple as a whole and their particular situation. There's no discussion around that. The couple is left alone with that, and there's no help with dealing with these long-term questions and what it means for them as a whole, rather than as two separate individuals with a need.
Yeah, there was just one comment that the book is out of stock.
Already.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Already.
Wow.
Wow.
Bestseller.
No, it's
Ah,
I wish
fantastic.
true. No, the reason is Brexit. So the book comes out.
But Amazon, has it. Florencia checked for us. You can find it on Amazon.
Okay, well, the ebook is no problem. You can immediately, but we have unfortunately some delays with the printed version. Brexit is giving us trouble too. But there was a question from Isabel.
Yes, I also business-wise, I'm taking care of the international newcomers coming here to Italy, and especially also in Italy, I found that it's not so well taken care, the issue of dual career couples. And so my question would be, how could you help with this book to approaching to companies to get a higher awareness maybe, or did you plan to approach to global mobility companies, or also to the companies who are international managers or have expatriates, so that there could be a move in the right direction?
Certainly, Isabel. So we are approaching HR, and we have, of course, a big network, both Paul and I, as current or former practitioners in mobility. I think we need to have some patience here, and what we are doing first and foremost is creating awareness around the subject of ICC. So we are inspired by TCKs, right? Before the TCK, Third Culture Kit, like everyone was wondering like how to address the mobile family situation, and now we're saying it's time to actually talk about ICC as a phenomenon. But we are seeing interest, and what we are doing is we are offering to, of course, tell about our book. That's nice. So that would be one easy check to to make sure that couples who need to take the decision are offered the book or access to it. And the worksheet is one easy fix as well. But of course, it's also our dream that we can come out to a broader audience and do workshops and sessions like this and really sensitize HR and leaders. So it's not just HR, it's also managers, leaders, even top level who need to address this. But your ideas are welcome, of course.
Yeah,
to get the word out.
We know, for example, that the Swiss diplomatic service, who have a special group looking at families and mobility, are looking at it at the moment and reading the book and see what they want to do with it.
Same for the British ministry.
Yeah, the British, well, and the Dutch purse ambassador, who's responsible for international recruitment or mobility. He wrote an endorsement, so he's very enthusiastic about it. So we hope that buzz will lead to something. Yeah.
So we have to work on Italy, ladies.
but not only, also because there is a question from Gabriella Kluk that is also asking if you have ever, of course, present your finding to corporation ministers, and if there is any exchange or best practices. I can I can just say a few words about EUFASA, which is the European Union Ministry of Foreign Affairs Spouses Association. There is actually this association that is an association of all the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Spouses Association is looking into this problem. I have to say, as an Italian association, we are part of this European association, and we are thinking about this problem. We are just confronting the different practices from the different Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Italy is not the first one in really taking care of the work and employment of the partner, but we are getting there and we are working on it. Jannie has got experience about this problem as well. So I know you have been working with EUFASA as well. So what is your experience? And Paul, are they sharing best practices?
It's a bit early days for us to talk about reactions. We've just started really in this month or in January, and there's still a way to go around. I know that there are conferences where international people meet, where also those kind of things are being discussed. You understand, but yeah, we hope that there will be a breakthrough.
But this idea about convening around best practices, I think that's a brilliant idea. Mm-hmm. And that's totally along our lines of finding solutions and coming up with structures and support measures and exchange, rather than talking about problems, right? There's not much energy in that. Thank you for your comments. It's interesting to see on the chat as well.
Yeah.
Somebody avoiding the topic.
Could I ask another question, if I may? Because you know, I find this first, I really want to thank you for bringing up this topic and for writing the book. And I, you know, I can already see that we have succeeded, you know, in different ways, you know, on this as a couple. But the third partner in this, and the fourth partner, are our employers, right? And so what they had to offer to us really also determined quite a bit our decisions, etc. Right? And one organization, the one of my husband's, had a very patriarchal, old-fashioned idea. They had calculated that it's better for the business if the spouse, and they're mainly women, follow the man, and so they had incentives for that. And whereas my employers, if you like, you know, have hardly anything in place to support spouses or their families, specifically nothing in place to really ensure they could live together, right? That's also the nature of the work that we do, which is often in places where, you know, it's impossible to have the family together. But, you know, they are the third and the fourth partner in this conversation. And therefore, I think this exchange of best practices and also learning from each other, because I thought from both there were very good things as well. You know, yeah, you know, that's probably another book. But thanks for letting me say this. Thank you.
Just one comment on that, and then there's one other comment in the chat we'd like to react to, and then I suggest we go to the networking part. So. It's what you say, Gabriella, particularly about things being on offer, and that's often the case. But what we really also want to achieve with this book is to allow couples to push boundaries, because what often happens is that you have this offering, and they say, okay, that's it. We have to fit in that box, and there's no other possibilities. Whereas really we plead, and I think our book allows that, for couples to find their own solutions, what works for them at a particular moment in time. And with that, have also a set of argued questions with which you can go to your employer and say, well, yeah, I'm happy to go to Madagascar, but I need this, that, and the other. And, you know, and then you are in a different position than not saying, well, perhaps this or that, but something, no, for us, this, for this reason, we want that. And I think that will make a lot possible. So the other thing I want to react to before we go to networking is what Alessandra shared, an interesting personal experience. And that's of course something which will happen more, is to have this opportunity to work remotely. Yeah, I think one of the positive things which will come out of this COVID is, on the one hand, that people will work more from home and perhaps require, in certain extent, less mobility. But on the other hand, it will permit more mobility because people can work from home, and then they can do that from the place where their partner is being expatriated to, or where they want to go to together as a couple, because that they want to have an experience in a different country. So thanks for all that input. So we're going to send you off now for 10 minutes networking in small groups.
Speed networking, that is.
Yes, networking. So 2 things. If you don't know each other yet, take a brief moment to tell who you are. And the other thing, if you do know each other, but also if you don't know each other, have a short discussion around what does this mean for you, what we talked about tonight, what are your takeaways as a personal individual for yourself.
Thank you. So now we will be in different groups, and we will have also the possibility to know each other.
Okay, so I will start. Does it work?
Yeah,
Yes.
but I refuse to go into a room, so that's why I.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a few people who didn't join yet.
Yeah, maybe they had to take care of other issues.
Yeah.
It's work day for G in the US, I know.
Okay, there were some good questions. I enjoyed that.
Very good. And I assume we will keep the chat also, right? Isabel? You can see the chat thread.
Yeah, we can save the chat. Yeah.
We are still recording right now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was 46, so let's say 10 minutes until 56.
We lost Milena.
We lost Milena?
She
went to
walking away.
Yeah. Why not? We already spoke.
We need her at the end for famous last words, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So that's nice. People are already connecting from this event with me.
Cool.
Yes, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, having 3 different networks together, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, really, in the situation in Italy is really a bit behind, I would say, and I would be happy to help and to support to change that situation, because it makes me also always very sad when I see that they are really not taking care, and this is not seen as a topic. So to create the awareness and also to see the potential and the opportunities, because we have a lot of multinational companies here, especially also in this Modena area.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so many wives or partners with an important career on their shoulders, and they come here and they just say, okay, we don't find a job here, we don't know what to do, and we speak 5 languages, we have worked in this corporate, blah blah blah. So but nobody is supporting and helping us, and they are really lost. So this is not addressed as an issue yet, at least what I heard in my modern environment. But I assume it's not so different also in bigger cities, what I heard.
I think it's throughout the case. Yeah.
I think it's a fine balance also. Companies cannot solve every challenge, but being aware of each individual situation can go a long way. So again, care is a key word for us, at least that the HR and the hiring manager cares for, has an interest in how will this situation look for you 3 years down the line. Because then there's also something about personal initiative, and this is what our competency matrix also invite people to take charge of their own path, right? Not just wait for the company to come and save you, because that's after all not a lasting relation, but the ICC should be a lasting focus.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How was your radio interview, Paul?
That went well, actually. And I enjoyed that. So yeah. And
it was very upbeat, very energized.
Really?
Yeah.
Do it on LinkedIn. I put it on LinkedIn on my profile.
Okay. So I have to check it out. Yeah. Great.
We'd like to put it on our webpage as well.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Super. And I found on Instagram, I'm following a lady. She's called. She has a blog, Share the Love. Kate.
Katharina von Klobloch. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's also currently reading your book, and she just said she likes it especially because you focus on not on the challenges and on the problems, but on the opportunities, and on the other side, look at the bright side. So what is in, what can we get out of it? So
yeah,
happy to hear that, Isabel. Yeah, you have been in contact with Katarina, right, Paul? I think.
Yes, actually, we want to ask her if you want to review the books, but she's already doing that apparently. So.
Yeah, she's reading it. She definitely posted a photo also on Instagram that she's currently reading it.
Oh, super! Yeah.
Oh, hello, Soldat. You were in a breakout room with yourself?
Oh.
I was like I don't know, I waited because I think I pressed too fast, join into the room 2, but then I was kind of by myself for a while. I'm like, maybe I should leave. But then I felt that this conversation was private, so can you get me to one of the rooms, or?
Oh, I can get you to another room. Wait a second.
Thank you.
Try.
And if that doesn't work, we can speak with you.
Yeah.
So it should have worked now. Because she was in the room with G, and G.
I didn't accept. Maybe that was why.
She accepted, but she obviously.
I think she might be working alongside.
Exactly. So that's why.
She's in the US, so.
Because sometimes you need to, before you can get into a breakout room again, you have to leave the whole meeting and enter again. But you could do that easily. Put her into a new breakout room.
I pushed her in another one.
Yeah.
It says push her. No, I don't know the English because I have the German one. Verschieben. Yeah, just put her in another one. So yeah.
Well, these uneasy moments at receptions where you don't know where to go next or who to talk to, we don't have that in Zoom, right? Just you are plunged into conversation.
Exactly. If you like it or not, Doug, just here.
I totally forgot how that was with functions and receptions, you know. It's been such a long time.
Yeah. I had a meeting today with the Chamber of Commerce this morning, and I was asking also about the in-person events. So how do they plan? And they said not before autumn. And yeah, so everything will keep staying online.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
So all the Scandinavians are dreaming of coming to Italy again. It will take a long time.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe in summer, but yeah.
We're planning just to stay in Denmark. It's easier, and you don't get. Hi, Jay.
I am so sorry. I should have told you guys that I just joined because I put the event in the calendar. And I said, oh, I'm going to take a look, right? I am so sorry.
So you're not really here?
No, because I'm working.
Of course.
But nice to see you, G. I never saw
you. Too.
Oh, introduction. Yeah.
I am so sorry because I was in another meeting and then I came back and I was like, oh, you guys put me in a breaking room. And I went there was nobody. I am so sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
That's so, very nice of you just to check in.
Yeah, I just stopped by to see, you know, what you guys are doing. And, you know, that was fantastic. I saw a little bit how you guys ask questions and, you know, just prompt answers. That was fantastic. So congratulations.
Super.
Yeah.
Isabel G has been doing remarkable work on these worksheets. We are so happy with the results.
Yes, and we were in contact for all the website and the LinkedIn page and everything. So this is Here We Are Italy. So we were quite quite sitting on your.
Yeah, I think we had like a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, we were
to go over the WordPress.
I think that was Evelyn, but we had some emails going back and forth. Yeah.
Yes, so, and actually I saw a Zoom meeting, I think, that somebody was giving like a tutorial on how to use Canva. And that was fantastic because I could do that too. You know, actually I am planning on doing one for my work, my coworkers.
Oh, gee.
Here we go. Come.
Yes.
Nice.
Hire you. That's a great thing.
Yes, it's a great tool. And it's very, you have the free basic subscription. I'm sorry, are we off topic here?
Yeah, I just wondering whether when we are going to get them back.
I would say now it's 3 to we should get them back.
But let's continue that idea, G. That would be so.
Oh, okay. So you guys are on a break. So I was going to conduct a Canva workshop. You have a free subscription, but even the basic subscription is not expensive. And then you have the brand kit that you can actually create templates, and all chapters can use with the Here We Are logo that is locked, right? And then templates for events, templates for, you know, webinars. So different templates as needs arise, we can create them, and each chapter can put their own image, their own text, and all the brand kit with fonts, logo, everything is in place.
Amazing.
Amazing. We love that idea, G, and please do it.
It's very easy.
So, I'm going to put everybody back because we are 2 minutes to 8. Okay. So just,
I'm sorry. And I have to go.
You just log off. That's fine, G. Thanks so much.
Okay. Well, see you. See you
nice
guys.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Nice to see you. Bye.
So everybody's coming back in some seconds. Great.
And we need to be brief for the roundup, Paul, right?
Yeah, I think we just leave it to Milena.
Yeah. Good one.
That was great. So
Thank
we have
you.
This workshop with a team.
Yeah.
Opportunities are coming.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. 22 seconds and then everybody's in again.
Thank you for organizing this. It's so smooth.
Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, here they come again.
Oh.
Nice.
Thank you,
Come back.
Gabrielle.
Thank you very much. I guess it was interesting to meet with some friends, so to keep in touch. Networking is important, also to exchange ideas, best practices. And so I don't know if our Jannie and Paul, the book authors, they want to add something. And so we will close. It's almost 8 o'clock, but please, Jannie and Paul.
Just a word of thanks for this very stimulating discussion, and I appreciate your input, sharing your personal experience, your questions. That's really stimulating for us to continue on this path. Thank you very much.
And it's our first time sharing and having a session around our book, apart from our, official launch.
Oh, great.
So thank you very much for your recommendations, encouragement. That's really kind of you. Appreciate it.
So let me thank all of you for being here tonight, the different associations that were with us, Career Global, Career Italy, ACDMAE, PWA for hosting this event. So thank you to Augerli, for our president, for being also with us. And see you again on Zoom somewhere in
next week. Don't forget to join us.
Let's hope that we are going to shake our hands soon. So thank you very much.
Let's hope.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
So thank you very much.
That was so nice. Well organized, good energy. I loved it. Oh, Paul left already. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Super time.
He's
looking for him.
a Swiss. Well, it was lovely. And I said we tend to be quite organized in terms of Zoom meetings.
Yes.
We've learned all of this in the past months. So we're happy to host, to have all of you.
Let's connect, Gerli.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's connect
See you
via LinkedIn.
soon.
Lena?
Grazie.
Thank you for the support of Career Italy as well, technical support, as you can see, Gerli. So, I mean, I've done everything, so that thanks.
Isabel is our Zoom queen.
Yeah, she became like this, an instant.
It's like, wow.
So professional.
Wonderful. See you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Ciao. Ciao ragazzi,
Here we are.
grazie.
Ciao. Oh, we lost also Evelyn.
Ci
È
vediamo
stato
domani,
molto bello.
no?
Sì,
Ci vediamo domani alle 3.
alle 3.
Ok,
Sì.
ci vediamo domani alle 3. Ciao, grazie
Ciao,
ancora.
ciao, ciao.
So we're gonna save the chat.
Yes,
Eh,
I do it.
yes, please save the chat and the recording.